merger Caddis Pupa pattern, which originally was tied with a gentleman called Davie McPhail. Now, basically I was looking through all my materials and I came across this. This is a synthetic raffia, or kind of clear raffia, and this is what was used to tie this fly. I'm just going to tie it on. This is a grub shape hook, Barbless, and it gives a nice effect as well. Now, to weight it, I'm just going to use a fine copper wire. I'm going to start the wire just about 2-3 mil from the eye. Just get it started. Now I'm using the waist piece to control the turns, just as I go down. I get to this point and I'll remove the waist piece, and then carry on down about a dozen turns or so, and then start to work my way back up. This will help taper it, and I work my way back up. Come by the point where I started and put 2 or 3 turns in front, and then break it off. Now what I do, basically this helps get the thread turns to sit nice, is to put a resin or UV resin on it. You can varnish it, super glue over it, it's up to yourself. This just basically takes the lumps and the bumps away. Helps to form a nice shape to your fly, giving it a nice underbody. Just taking away some of the excess resin. Now I like to keep it upside down at this point, and then basically come in, set the torch. I'll set it with the UV torch. Sure, it's set all the way around. Now, the thread I would probably recommend more would be like a flat thread, like a UTC or a Danville's. But I'm going to use just a uni thread, in this case brown. The reason I'm recommend a flat thread is because we're going to split the thread, and the uni it's not as easy as to split. But anyway, I'll work away with it. I just like a round thread, it gives me more grip. Now, when you start at the top, and again I'm using the waist piece to control each turn, and work my way to the back of the fly. That point there, a couple of turns. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the bobbin anti-clockwise, and this will flatten the thread. And then get your dubbing needle. Now I just basically take the thread, rub it on the side of the hook. It should open out or flatten out the thread turns, or the thread anyway. Now you've got to have good eyesight, just run your thread through. Just take your time pushing it down through. Now it's not going to go any further than that. This is what happens with uni thread, but that is enough space to put a dubbing into it. So basically what you're doing is forming like a dubbing loop, if you want to call it, but by splitting the thread. Now for the body of the fly, I'm going to use an SLF dubbing, and this one here is a golden olive. It's a nice colour. It's a nice colour for Caddis. Now what I'll do is just lightly take it off and slide it between the split thread. Push it up. For a fly this size, you're looking round about an inch and a half a dubbing. That should do it. Then just basically let the thread go, put your finger onto the thread, and then you want to put the turns back in. Now spin it clockwise, and that should tighten up. This makes for a really good body. It twists, it puts a lot of air between the fibres, or light between the fibres. And then we wind up. Just stroking these back as we go. And there we go. Now if you do feel they're a wee bit long, you can come in and just cut out some of these fibres. You don't want to cut them all the way back, don't want to do that. me see how it's looking. Just, if you want to take your time a wee bit longer on this, there we go. That's fine. Then we get a length of a synthetic or clear raffia. Now for a fly this size, this 14, you're looking round about half an inch wide. So what I'm going to do here is basically cut it. Just start it off and then it tears. Quite easy, straight down that line. Then I'm going to fold it. So double up on it. Just like that. And line up the ends. Just run it through your fingers. And then what I'm going to do is fold it again. Just like, so you get a crease on one side on the top. Like that. And then, if I can show you this, come in with your scissors. And then cut a slight angle like a wing. Just at the end. So you've got a nice tapered cut. You could take a point off that a wee bit. And then this is ready to put on, sit on the top. Now, basically, what you want to do is get it to sit. I'll just open it back out so you can see. Yeah, make sure these ends are in line. So that you fold this round the body and the length is to the back. So wee crease here, I just want to make sure it's open. Now what will happen when you're fishing this fly, it will start to wear, but actually to me it looks much better as it does. Now there's the length, so then again I'll fold this down either side and round the hook. Now you want the fly, just check your length first, there we go, just to the back. Hold it, but put the fly or the shank in the centre of the raffia. And then what I do is I come round, a couple of loose turns, and then tighten up. 2 or 3 more turns just to make sure it's not going to move. And just see how it's sitting. And there we are. That looks fine. And then we trim this away. Just got a wee bit of wax on my thread at this point, and make sure it's tied in nice and tight. And come back up. We're back to this point. Ready for our hackle. Now, hackle I'm using, this is just a basically Indian hen, just a cheap Indian hen neck. And what I want a small feather, especially with a black centre. In this case it's got a light, it's still kind of light Greenwells. Just make sure you pick a nice, or select a nice feather, with no breaks in it. This one here. Then we tie it in by the tip. And we draw the fibres back. And the black centre just gives it, darkens the thorax area up a wee bit near that point. It just works really well. Now there's the tip of the feather there, so I can just pull that out, break it off. So basically what I'm doing is taking it down, fold it back. And then draw your fibres back. Fold in the fibres. Doing one turn in front of the other. Now a feather this size you're looking probably a couple of turns is plenty. And then bring a thread up beside the stem, put a nice bend into it, pull it down. So that the thread turns get onto the stem. Trim this away. We drop more wax onto your thread. And like always I like to take the thread down, tidy up. Makes it easier to wind the dubbin or so onto that. Now the dubbin is this one. It's a fiery brown SLF. Just guys, what I do is I just cut the corner off the packet and tease it out. Tease out what I need. Now you could put a thorax cover over this. You could put a gold head in front of this or whatever colour. It's entirely up to yourself. This is just the standard one. a bit of dubbing on the thread. Now, what I'm going to do here is take the thread slightly down towards the eye, tighten the dubbing up and work my way up to the hackle, and then come back through, keep it nice and tight. This is where I prefer a round thread. I find the dubbing much easier to control than having it on a flat thread. Now what I'm going to do here is a wee half hitch, just to stop the thread bouncing off and keeping everything nice and tight. So we quick look to see how it, there you go. That's fine. Now obviously the raffia, synthetic raffia gives the impression of the skin of the pupa, or the body of the emerging fly, and being translucent it just shines really well. Now, a couple of horns on it, a couple of horns for show. In this case I've got some bronze mallard. Just pull it straight out, there we are, two. And just sit them on the side, not too long. Well, have them as long as you like, but just to the back of the fly. Just come round, holding both, a couple of turns, fold these back, nice and tight. Always keep the thread tight. Quick finish. Trim away your thread. Trim away the waste ends. Now there's your horns a bit sitting away out, but all you have to do is just get your fingers, just get the fibres and take them forward. You'll see that it kind of creases them at the top. You can lay them on the side. There we are. You can curl them round with your nail if you want. Make them a wee bit more fancy if you want. Then a couple of coats of varnish. All the way around. I mean, it is a very simple fly to tie, and you can really fill your box with all the colour combinations that work for Caddis, and I'm sure you'll not go far wrong. As I say, try them with weight, with either with lead inside if you want a wee bit heavier, or if you want a gold head or whatever colour head in the front. It's up to yourself. As you see, very simple, and I hope you enjoyed that. And that's Davie Watson's Emerger Caddis.